What's up, guys? I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for popping into another review for Disney Animation Studios film leading to the release of Zootopia 2, which is coming in just about 2 weeks. I'm excited for it. We're talking about The Rescuers, 1977. It came out the same year as Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And here we have a film that is an underrated gem, I believe. The Rescuers, every time you ask people, rank a couple Disney classics, half the time, The Rescuers isn't even mentioned and maybe forgotten, and its sequel, The Rescuers Down Under, might even be more popular than the original film. I'm going to say that I've not seen that movie yet, and I'm excited to do so, to do a review for it. And I wanted to talk about the first one first. Disney Animation Studios, the sequels that they've done theatrically, whole bunch to video, we know that. But the theatrical ones, what do we have? We have Rescuers Down Under, which was the first one. So that's why I'm doing The Rescuers today. And I watched the film twice before doing this review because I've had the VHS as a kid. I've watched it a lot. I always have had a liking for this movie. So when I sat down and watched it again, I just kind of fell in love with it all over again. I don't think this is a great film. I don't think it's a perfect film by any means, but I think this is a solid piece of animation entertainment. And The Rescuers is a dark tale. It really is. It's not this kind of happy-go-lucky story. It is a dark tale about two mice from the Rescue Aid Society. Bob Newhart plays Mr. Bernard, and then you have Miss Bianca, played by Eve Gaber. Bernard and Bianca then have to take a trip to the Devil's Bayou to save young girl Penny, who has been abducted from a woman who owns a pawn shop, Madame Medusa. Now, keep in mind, they're doing Cruella de Vil over again. You see this movie, and there's the scene that she's got in her car as she leaves the pawn shop and goes to the airport. You have that whole sequence, and the way she's driving, the way the car moves, the way the car looks, you can obviously tell they're doing Cruella de Vil 2.0. Cruella de Vil, all she really did was kidnap puppies. This woman's kidnapping children. Her sidekick, Snoops, I think is a really solid sidekick. They don't really give a lot to any of these characters, story-wise anyway. It's very straightforward. They get the message. They've got to get to the Devil's Bayou. They have a little run-in with the alligators, and then they break out eventually. There's not a lot of depth to the film, only in its subject matter, I think. There's a lot of sappy moments throughout the middle of the film when you see the flashback of the cat Rufus. There's just a lot of things in the film that, I'm like, okay, obviously this doesn't have like the best writing, but the voice performances are on point. The adventure is entertaining. I wouldn't say necessarily had fun with it, but it is an entertainment. The film is only like an hour and 15 minutes or something, and it flies by. There's really no saggy scenes in this film. There's no dead weight. I liked all the sequences. Even when they you meet the new people at the Devil's Bayou, the new little critters, with the one guy that's always drinking and it puts him up like he's on drugs or something. There's a lot of funny little moments in the movie. And the whole breakout at the end and how the crocodiles ultimately turns against her because she starts whipping them. I mean, I like all that, I just think that the film is a little surface level other than being pretty disturbing if you start really thinking about it. This is a woman. She abducts this girl and sends her in a mine, basically, down in this hole in the earth to find this gem for her, this jewel. And she sent her down multiple times. She's not even there. She sent the two of them out there with her crocodile friends. And she's like, okay, she's sending letters and bottles now. I'm going down myself. She's determined, very determined villain. So there's a lot to like about The Rescuers, and I love the Rescue Aid Society song. There was a song nominated for an Oscar for this movie, and it's the song When You're Waiting for Someone, or Who Can Save You, or whatever the title of the song was. I wasn't really impressed by any of the songs in the film except for Rescue Aid Society. And I guess the last thing I'll touch on that I thought was a little strange, how Bernard's character keeps noticing that there's 13 steps on the ladder or the stairs or the 13 on the calendar. There's just a lot of moments in the film where he feels like he's got bad luck, but there's never any dialogue that he has to explain why he feels that way. All that was really strange. Like the first time he says, there's 13 steps on this ladder. What are you supposed to think when he says that? Do you instantly think, oh, he's got bad luck, or what's he talking about? But then throughout the film, he continues to say 13 this, 13 that, and you're just like, okay. And then the end of the film, they got to go on their new adventure, and the 13 is on the calendar. It's Friday the 13th. The DreamWorks movie Madagascar. How that kind of ended like, oh, should we tell them that the boat's out of gas? No, just smile and wave. It's kind of how it felt at the end of the film, but then they kind of closed it out with a sweet little song playing. So, yeah, not one of the best Disney animated films. This is middle tier, and I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoy The Rescuers, and I think it is better than Ralph Breaks the Internet. I did give that the same rating. It's another film that I reviewed in this small series of films from the Disney catalog leading up to Zootopia 2. So we'll be talking about The Rescuers Down Under. But if you guys can remember back to the end of May or June, 1995, we had the release of not only Toy Story, but Pocahontas. In a land I can claim, a land I can tame, the greatest adventure is mine. I reviewed that a few months ago on the channel, so definitely check that out. I'm going to put the link to that video in the description here because I definitely think that that's a film. Look, they're releasing The Emperor New Groove on 4K for its 25th anniversary. They couldn't release Pocahontas on 4K for its 30th anniversary. Come on, give me a break. But that's it for me, guys. Comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter and or X at RyanKing72 and Instagram at KingArises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for The Rescuers. And until next time, over and out.